In Chapter 19 of my FE7 Meh Units Only Ironman, we get thrown into a fog of war map. Where are the clear skies, Canos? Why must Weatherman lie to me so much? Ah! Alright, Tilted, just watch your blood pressure. Just talk about a neat little trick to get back in the groove. Alright, so, fun fact. Thieves have the highest vision range when it comes to fog of war maps. But you can actually scout your map out during battle preparations by moving your thief around the formation squares. Obviously, you would reposition these units to where you want to before committing to the battle, but this extra information can help you decide where to place units for a proper turn 1 formation, so you're not caught unprepared. Alright, I feel much better now that I have given proper educational material to the public. We can take pride in that we are providing accurate information, unlike some people. But anyway, back to the map. We are beset on all sides by various pirates, nomads, Pegasus Knights, cavalry, and too many choke points to hold for a long period of time. We also have a side objective most people avoid, and that is the torch staff held by a thief who scurries off to the southern side of the map in a few turns, if we aren't quick enough. The torch staff acts similar to a torch by extending the vision range on fog of war maps, but it can be placed in a spot from afar and you do not need to leave a unit to scout ahead for you. Since there are only so many fog of war maps, it tends to be forgotten. But I like it, and therefore, I'ma get it. We also have a turn limit of 15 turns to complete the chapter to get access to Chapter 19X. Because of all these fast-paced objectives, I tend to run this chapter very recklessly, which does put us in a bit of danger, especially for Canos, Urk, and Lucius. But thanks to both Dorcas and Oswin being actually good units here, they are more than enough to handle the job for us. Dart the Pirate also joins us as he no longer trusts Farkas to actually pay him for his work. He's one of the more solid units that I can rely on in my campaign, and he holds a pivotal role for several of the later game maps. So you better believe we are going to use him wherever we can. Fiora, a Pegasus Knight, also joins the map as a green unit, which you can normally recruit with her sister Florina, but you all know how that old song and dance goes. So we leave her to her own devices, and we even take the time to try and save her from herself using Dart and Bartray. I'm a green unit! Yes you are, Fiora. Godspeed. Other than that little fiasco, we do face a little positional trouble on the center island, but fix it quickly enough and have Dorcas, Oswin, and Hector lead the charge towards the boss of the chapter, Uhai, a nomad trooper of Sakei. And even though he has a horse to ride, he embraces our philosophy of not moving. Like, at all. I think the designers of the map figured the large quantity of trees would allow Uhai to pester units before they could close in the distance, using his longbow. And he has also a dangerous killing edge for anyone that comes within one range, so I guess that's another way of discouraging people from rushing him. So we do the one thing that makes sense and charge our 20+ defense walking fortress, Oswin, right at him, ending the map after extracting every ounce of experience I could from his army, thus allowing us entry into Chapter 19X. Great job, everyone. In Chapter 19X of my FE7 Meg Units Only Ironman, we find ourselves the target of multiple magic casters and their guards. Turns out, the 2 secret books we sold in previous chapters were actually someone else's property, and by selling it, we have now published other people's work on the medieval equivalent of Reddit. Which would make you think these magic casters were the original owners of the books. But as it turns out, these casters are seeking vengeance on behalf of people they don't even know. I mean, I get it, we are messing with a lot of people, so we should attract a lot of negative attention. But this ain't your fight, Chief! In any case, they are in the way of our objectives, so as a form of disabling them, we give them swirlies and knock them unconscious. Don't let any images of us stabbing, slashing, or impaling characters' heads with a 7-foot pole deceive you. We are the protagonists here, and we are just harmlessly putting them into unconsciousness. The sage ringleader of the group even brought his own custom bolting tome to attack us from afar, to avoid the swirlies. But then Kashuna strolls up with his crew and his boombox. Has such a large amount of bass, it creates a red zone of complete silence, making the sage unable to cast his bolting while his voice is drowned out by the music. We are appreciative for this assist and want to thank him directly for this unexpected aid, but his concert will end on turn 12 due to noise complaints if we don't remove the entire neighborhood before then. So we set our sights on removing them, and during our approach, we have one of our units check a nearby temple containing a Hatsune Miku statuette that the medieval Redditors used as a goddess icon of worship. We don't question it, as we know for a fact these sell for a high price at pawn shops. Why do I know this? Don't worry about it. Like I was saying, I truly wanted to vibe out to the music here, so with great haste, we absolutely decimate the rest of the Redditors, stealing the leader's silver tier merch card, and slowly approach the concert. The music was unfortunately too loud, and Kashuna's bodyguards mistake us for people trying to attack the musician. We keep trying to explain ourselves for several turns, but they couldn't understand us, and even Dart put in a lot of effort to convey our willingness to enjoy the concert. But we eventually had to knock all the guards unconscious as well. With everyone gone but us and Kashuna, we vibed out and grew a kinship that would stand the test of time, before approaching the artist to thank him for a wonderful concert. The man was so immersed in his set that he instinctively dodged our pats on the shoulder and cheers of joy before ending his set with a sonic boom. With our eardrums still bleeding and memories to share, we head into Chapter 20. But on a more serious note, if you want to get to Chapter 19X Part 2, which is a very story-rich part of the whole narrative here, you must have Nils trained to level 7 in Lin mode and beat Kashuna on this chapter in one turn so he cannot teleport away. One extra side note, Eugenics is coming out this week and this will cause my uploads to slow down a bit. I'm still very interested in finishing this series, but figured a heads up would be good for you all, and I wish you all a happy and great week